American Flight 555 The Vanishing. Plot summary. In the 1970s, American Airlines Flight 555, a routine passenger flight from Los Angeles to New York, vanished without a trace. Pilots, ground control, and even radar systems failed to locate any sign of the aircraft, leaving investigators and families bewildered and heartbroken. However, decades later, strange clues emerge, hinting that Flight 555 may not have crashed but instead slipped into another dimension. Key elements. Mysterious departure. Flight 555 took off on a clear day, with passengers and crew in high spirits. But just an hour into the flight, communication with ground control suddenly cut off, and the radar showed an unexplainable distortion before the plane simply vanished. Passengers on board experienced turbulence that feels unusually intense, almost as if the plane is stretching and twisting through space. Outside the windows, they start seeing strange lights and flashes, not like any natural phenomenon they know. Suddenly, they emerge into a calm, yet unfamiliar sky. The alternate dimension. In this new world, landmarks of Earth are replaced with towering, surreal landscapes. Flight 555 is alone, surrounded by swirling colors, floating land masses, and a sky that seems to bend in unnatural ways. Desperate survival. With limited fuel, the crew knows they can't survive long. They try to ration supplies, communicate with anyone outside, and explore potential explanations, fearing they're stuck in a place where time itself may flow differently. A distorted time loop. As days pass, strange things happen. The clocks on the plane stop working, and passengers seem to age at different rates. Some report experiencing dreams of their lives back on Earth, while others start to see shadows of other people, maybe even their own past or future selves. The return attempt. Just as they're about to lose all hope, the pilots spot a shimmer in the sky, resembling the turbulence that brought them here. With their last bit of fuel, they take a leap of faith and steer into the shimmer, hoping it will bring them home. The aftermath. Flight 555 reappears in modern-day America, landing at an airport where everyone is stunned by its arrival. To the world, it's been decades since they disappeared, but to the passengers, only days have passed. Now they must adjust to a time far from their own and live with the mysteries of what truly happened. American Flight 555, The Vanishing. The calm before the storm. Flight 555 departs Los Angeles International Airport on a cloudless morning in 1973, bound for New York. The passengers, a mix of business travelers, vacationers, and families, settle in for the cross-country journey. Among them is a retired World War II pilot, an astrophysicist, a mother traveling with her young son, and a newly married couple on their honeymoon. Captain Henry Lawson, a seasoned pilot with over 2 decades of experience, is in the cockpit with his co-pilot, young but talented Michael Reyes. Their pre-flight checks are perfect, and the plane takes off smoothly. A few hours into the flight, everything seems routine: the hum of engines, in-flight meals, and the soft voices of passengers. Suddenly, turbulence strikes, jarring the plane. Passengers grip their armrests as the turbulence grows more intense, unlike any Lawson has ever experienced. He tries to calm his passengers over the intercom, but his voice betrays an edge of worry. As he fights to stabilize the plane, his instruments start to fail, showing strange readings, and all communication with ground control abruptly cuts off. The disappearance. As turbulence intensifies, everything outside the plane's windows begins to distort. Lights shimmer in unnatural colors, like ribbons of aurora borealis but 10 times brighter, swirling in impossible patterns. The passengers look out the windows in awe and horror as they realize the plane isn't in the familiar skies of Earth anymore. Captain Lawson and Reyes try to make sense of their instruments, but nothing makes sense. Altimeters spin wildly, radar shows bizarre shapes, and the compass fluctuates erratically. They realize the plane is in some sort of anomaly, a tear in the fabric of reality. Then, with a sudden violent jolt, the turbulence ceases. The plane is now in calm skies, but these skies are unlike any they've ever seen. The clouds are streaked with colors from a palette that doesn't exist on Earth, and strange landforms hover in the distance. Some resemble floating islands, others are spirals that twist into the sky, defying physics. Lawson takes a shaky breath and checks his instruments. They're no longer malfunctioning, but they're not providing useful information either. The altimeter shows nothing and the radio is silent. They are completely alone. Panic sets in. The passengers begin to feel the weight of their situation. At first, they believe it's a temporary detour, an atmospheric glitch, but the unsettling landscape and the complete radio silence sink in. Panic ripples through the cabin. People cry, pray, and console each other as best as they can. Astrophysicist Dr. Elaine Harper speaks with Captain Lawson, explaining her theory that they've encountered a rift or a bubble in space-time, possibly an alternate dimension or an anomaly beyond current scientific understanding. Her words are met with fear and disbelief, but there's no denying the evidence outside. Into the unknown. The crew and passengers decide to conserve resources. They ration food, turn off non-essential power, and keep calm. The night sky, when it falls, is a spectacle of celestial bodies that don't belong to Earth's galaxy. Moons, nebulous clouds, and star formations sprawl out in every direction, forming an eerie, otherworldly sight. Days pass, and strange occurrences begin. The clocks on the plane behave erratically, slowing down or speeding up at random. People start seeing visions. Some believe they see their loved ones on Earth. Others see shadows of themselves walking through the cabin. The pilot's watch shows 24 hours have passed, but the passengers feel as though they've lived through days. Fractured time. Some passengers begin aging faster than others. Dr. Harper theorizes that time flows inconsistently here, possibly influenced by the anomaly they're in. They notice the strange shadows again, reflections of their past or future selves moving through the cabin like ghosts. Every glimpse feels like a memory, a moment in time trapped within the strange dimension. In desperation, Captain Lawson encourages the passengers to stay grounded in the moment, but his own grip on reality begins to waver. He sees memories of his wife, hears her voice, but knows she's not truly there. The emotional strain begins to take a toll on everyone. The shimmer. After what seems like weeks, a glimmer of hope appears. A bright, shimmering vortex in the distance, similar to the turbulence that brought them here. Captain Lawson believes it could be a way out, but the crew is torn. Dr. Harper warns that trying to return through the anomaly could be fatal, but Lawson argues they have no choice. They can't survive here much longer. With their last bit of fuel, Lawson sets a course toward the shimmer. As they near it, the turbulence returns, violent and disorienting with flashing lights and colors. Passengers and crew hold on tight, clinging to the hope that this is their way home. The return. Flight 555 reemerges in the skies over America, landing at an airport surrounded by bewildered authorities. They're greeted by a crowd of stunned onlookers and investigators. It's now 2023, nearly 50 years since they vanished. To the passengers and crew, only days or weeks have passed, but to the world, they've been gone for nearly 5 decades. Family members they left behind are now elderly or gone, and the world has moved on without them. They struggle with a mix of emotions: relief, sadness, and shock as they realize how much time has passed. Authorities take them for debriefing, but Flight 555 remains a mystery that no one can fully explain. The passengers and crew carry memories of an otherworldly journey, one that left them forever changed, haunted by the mysteries of the skies and the time they lost. The legacy of Flight 555. Though they try to return to normal life, none of the passengers can shake what they experienced. Some form a close-knit support group, meeting regularly to share dreams and memories that still come to them, shadows of an alternate dimension that linger in their minds. Flight 555 becomes a legend, its mystery enduring as one of the most unexplainable events in aviation history. For those who survived, the journey was more than just a trip through the skies. It was a brush with forces beyond human comprehension, a reminder that reality may hold secrets and dimensions we are not yet ready to understand.